If you walk through a few square blocks in the downtown east side of Vancouver, British Columbia, you will find thousands of people injecting, inhaling, and ingesting drugs of all kinds. The people living on these streets face severe medical emergencies every day, from HIV and hepatitis C to fatal overdoses. Many also experience psychosis, a condition where the brain processes information in a way that causes a person to lose touch with reality. When the media depicts these individuals, it highlights the desperation for drugs and the resulting aggressive behavior. This feeds a widespread cultural belief that severe substance use is an ethical lapse, a weakness of character, or a moral failure. The traditional medical establishment takes a different angle, viewing severe addiction as an inherited brain disease. In this biological model, the assumption is that the person's brain is broken by genetics. Yet, whether these individuals are treated as criminals or as patients with a genetic disorder, the overall treatment model succeeds with only 5 to 10% of the most entrenched cases. Billions of dollars are spent on a war that the statistics show we are losing. We fail because our cultural approach misidentifies the root of the problem. Addiction functions as a solution to a problem, an escape from emotional suffering that feels otherwise unbearable. Looking at the timeline of a life, that emotional pain traces back to a shared origin point: severe childhood trauma. This includes profound sexual, physical, or emotional abuse, or total neglect during the most vulnerable years of development. When a child is hurt this way, they naturally assume they are to blame. They internalize a crushing sense of shame, convinced they are being hurt because they are a terrible or weak person. This trauma leaves a physical mark on the developing brain. Extreme early stress alters the circuitry of the human brain, making it highly susceptible to the relief found in drugs. Severe addiction is a direct neurological and psychological adaptation. It is a mechanism required to survive a past that is too painful to remember. Society responds to this survival mechanism with intense hypocrisy. It is legal to drink yourself to death or develop lung cancer from cigarettes, but we criminalize the specific substances these traumatized people use to soothe their pain. Instead of offering help, we place these individuals outside the law. People who were abused as children are hounded, forced to the ground by police, and treated as criminals and rejects. We then lock them inside stark concrete boxes. These isolating environments strip away their humanity and reinforce the exact shame they have carried since childhood. The traditional medical system offers little refuge. Walk through these clinical halls and you will find a psychiatric model that is largely trauma-phobic. The average medical education rarely mentions emotional pain or its impact on human development. Because this ideology excludes trauma, doctors default to what they know. They treat the behavior as a purely biological issue, handing out pills for chemical symptom control rather than investigating the root psychological cause. This creates a brutal, self-perpetuating cycle. By subjugating traumatized people legally and ignoring their pain medically, society actively inflicts new trauma. We punish them for hurting, which only increases the emotional agony they are trying to escape. The Western medical model often positions the doctor as the expert who is going to cure the patient. But you cannot cure a complex human being's emotional state the way you cure a biological infection. If you only focus on stopping the compulsive behavior without addressing the emotional pain underneath, the treatment will fail. The internal agony will always find a way out if it remains untouched. To actually guide these people toward healing, our entire social and medical approach must pivot. We have to move past the criminal investigation and approach these individuals with genuine human empathy. We need to stop demanding to know why they use drugs. Instead, we have to start asking, why are you in so much pain? What happened to you? The desperation will only fade when we provide the conditions for real healing. We have to stop punishing the symptoms of survival and start helping the human being resolve the trauma they carry inside.